Action.
Welcome to Off Camera, the UC Film Society radio show all about movies. I'm Ollie.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cam.
And we'll be your directors for this episode. This week on Off Camera, we'll be joined by Samuel Maynard, a second-year film student here at UC. We'll discuss what he likes to do in the film world and his love for animated films. We'll also tell you what we've been watching and what's been happening in the world of film at the moment. Welcome, Sam.
Hello guys. It's real exciting to be here. It's a little trippy hearing it on the show and then being here in person are two very different things, but I'm really excited for what we got to talk about today.
Just an avid fan.
It's very exciting to have a listener guest. So,
A real fan.
Yeah, true fan.
I'll sign your SD card later.
So, Sam, you're a second-year film student. You recently did cinematography on the creative collaboration film Payback. What was that like?
Cinematography isn't my normal go-to area, but it was something different, and I wanted to challenge myself to try something different with this film. We had like 4 people running for editor, so I was like, all right, I'll take one for the team. It was a real fun challenge to figure out. Like taking in like the visual directions the director wanted to take it, and sort of the story tone Jake wanted to take it, and making sure my personal visual styles could still be heard in there, and trying to find something cohesive was a lot of fun. In the end, my shot list was behemoth. I showed it to the others. We had a hour-long talk about it. It was 5,000 words of just like little notes and me trying to justify every little idea I had. It was a bit overkill, and we probably ended up only actually able to do about 50-60% of the planned stuff, as well as master shots to cover the little holes. But yeah, it was really fun, and it was definitely an interesting challenge to take on set against the time constraint, and like doing stuff dollies was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, that's really a lot of dedication, considering you don't see that as your primary role.
Yeah.
So very
Yeah,
impressive.
That much.
Yeah, Sam, I was really impressed by how much you took that on. As like you said you weren't really interested in it. So
Yeah, I mean, there's like, 7 other people in our group. I couldn't be the weak link, you know?
yeah, especially with such an important role.
Absolutely.
So, Sam, what is your preferred role?
I definitely feel strongest in post-production when I'm doing the editing and stuff, as well as sound. I feel pretty adept around DaVinci, Premiere, and like a couple of different audio programs like Audition and Audacity and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I definitely take quite a enjoyment on getting to put all the puzzle pieces together. It's like solving my own little mystery, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Do you have a preferred editor of choice?
Uh,
Like NLA?
I think Premiere definitely has the better ensuite of like effects and stuff, but DaVinci is good because it's free, and I quite like the color grading options in it as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth.
Look, as long as you didn't say
specifically here at
avid,
UC.
I'm
Yeah, no.
So, Sam,
Mm.
could you tell us a bit about your favorite movie?
Okay. Well.
It's
I mean,
always a bit of a
my
stumper.
my favorite movie, which I've said to Jake before, is Inception. Though I know you guys did a Nolan off recently, so I won't I won't talk my head off about it. But am I allowed to talk about it? Or would you
Yeah,
rather?
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Why do you love it?
It's just so amazingly meticulously crafted. It like I that's something I love about all of Nolan's work, and like it's like just the like all the sequences where you cut back to like different levels of the dream sequence, and like see like just to have the little bits of how every level affects each other, and it shows like how much Nolan really thinks this stuff out. And I love how Nolan creates set pieces and stuff, especially the spinning corridor thing. The behind the scenes of that is insane, and I think it's one of my favorite Nolan scene recreations ever. Just like how they did that with the turning chamber and actually having I forget the actor's name, and then
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
yeah, him and the guy he's fighting, and just the whole way that was filmed is insane, and it's perfection incarnate. That's all I can say.
I don't disagree.
Not one weak point of the movie.
Yeah.
It's something that really works about Oppenheimer as well. But like you said, the cross-cutting between different timelines and different events is just very, very impressive. I think.
It's one of Nolan's best traits.
Yeah, for sure.
And what about your favorite director? Is that Nolan or is it someone else?
Because I like different directors for different types of things. I mean, Nolan's definitely favored for that sort of thing he does. I think, like, with editing and stuff, I really like fast-paced cutting and stuff, so if I was to pick an editing hero director, probably... his name's escaping me. It's the guy that directed Scott Pilgrim.
Edgar
Wright.
Yeah,
I already started typing it as
I
soon
was
as you said
thinking
fast
about
pace.
Edgar Wright, yeah.
Yeah. But I do not know enough about him as a director for a deep dive. So I've decided today to talk about Guillermo del Toro.
Interesting.
I know he's worked on a couple of things, like on the side that are a little bit like he has different styles that he sort of jumps into. I know he worked on like the Hobbits and stuff, but my personal affection and his sort of favorite style is what he did with like Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth, sort of that movies where he sort of like introduces us into these sort of like fairy tale-esque aspects, but with like a very macabre element. And I really just like in I don't know, like a lot of movies always try to be like, oh, explore this magical world, and it's like absolutely perfect and beautiful and everything. But I really like how like unsettling some of the stuff he can bring in is. But then you like delve under the covers, and it's just like got this sort of sad but beautiful aspect. And like I think I've read a little bit about him and like growing up and like how he got inspirations from stuff like Beauty and the Beast. And I read in one interview where he was talking about like something about a swamp monster story as a kid, and he was hoping how the swamp monster would get
but not really.
yeah how he was hoping the swamp monster would get the girl instead of the hero or something. And I thought it was really fascinating ideas that like you don't really see anywhere in the world except for by him and like probably Tim Burton as well. When I was like thinking like, oh, what's the difference in style between Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro, I was thinking like, when I watch a Tim Burton movie, I feel like I'm watching a play. But when I watch a Guillermo del Toro movie, I feel like I'm reading a fairy tale or a book, if you get what I'm saying. I feel
that's
like,
a fair
That's an amazing way of
comparison, I'd
putting
say,
it.
I can't speak to all the aspects del Toro. I know there's a whole side of him that does stuff like Pacific Rim and stuff, and I have not watched those movies. But
Del Toro's his thing is like creatures, monsters, creatures, kaiju, anything like that. He's obsessed with kaiju, which is why he made Pacific Rim. There were talks about him making a Jabba the Hutt movie, Jabba the Hutt gangster movie, which I'm very sad didn't get greenlit. But yeah, most of his movies have that sort of like a creature. Even his most recent one, Pinocchio.
Like a
Pinocchio's just a little guy. Pacific Rim has the kaiju, Shape of Water, just everything he's done. Hellboy.
One of his movies that I've been really interested in for a while, but I've never watched it, is The Book of Life. I think I saw an ad, like a trailer for it, in a DVD, like the pre-roll to a DVD ages ago, and I always thought it looked really cool, but I just haven't got around to it.
That's the animated one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone looks like they're made out of wood.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I'm really shaky on it, but I remember it being really fun.
He didn't actually direct that.
That was
why?
Was that a producer or something?
Come
I think he
on.
produced it.
Yeah.
Google. Damn it.
Yeah, I haven't spent nearly enough time with Del Toro's work.
Mm.
I really need to give him more of a, because
Yeah.
what I've seen is just so cool and creative and interesting.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't. Yeah, I've got a lot of gaps too, but like, I have. But Shape of Water and Pan Labyrinth were the two big ones from him I've seen, and there's just so much like in them that I've really adore. In Shape of Water specifically, the main leading actress lady from Paddington 2 and Paddington 1, which is the reason I remember it. Very fun actor too.
Yeah, he executive produced Kung Fu Panda 3. So there you go.
Yes.
2 and 3.
He's got
Wow.
he's done a lot of DreamWorks apparently as well, which is really interesting.
Which we will definitely get more
I did not
into,
know that at all.
later in the episode. Yeah.
IMDb doesn't say 2, but that might be wrong.
Google does.
Well, one of them's wrong.
I don't know. One of them's wrong and one of them's right. Or one of them's like kind of right. Don't really know.
Anyway,
Finally, do you have a favorite actor, Sam?
Yeah,
Like a couple.
I was thinking on this, and I was like,
We did say last week we might change it to favorite performance from an
okay.
actor.
No, I'll still go actor with this one, but
Okay.
I will say this is not like probably a range role. There's like certain actors that can like become basically anything and do an amazing job. But I just wanted to really have a fun hour for Robin Williams, the man, the myth, the legend.
absolutely. I mean, everything I've seen him in, he's stolen the show.
Absolutely. I mean, I love his role as the genie, which is one of the best Disney movies.
Will it make an appearance later? We'll have to wait and see.
Do we have the lamp?
Uh,
You didn't bring the lamp, Ollie?
No.
That was your one job, man.
I mean,
Can't bring out Robin Williams.
I don't know if I've watched his all of his best work, but like I know like he's fun in Jumanji. He's fun in what's it? He's fun in Flubber.
Have you guys seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes.
Okay, that's his iconic role.
Cam hasn't.
I haven't.
And then Dead Poets Society. Those two. are
Those
like
two,
his,
yeah.
They're his comedic,
Oscar series.
like
Yeah.
sad roles.
Not in museums.
True.
That's pretty similar.
Night at Museum.
Oh, those
He's
movies are so
very
good.
as
There's
Teddy
one
Roosevelt.
TikTok sound going around with his final speech, and
It was his last performance
Oh.
as well.
yeah, his last
Oh, wow.
performance, and the what's the track from the last episode of the Clone Wars?
Oh, Burying the Dead.
Yeah, Burying the Dead. Oh wait, is it that one? It might not be. I forget. We'll find it later.
Yeah, I feel like I've watched more of his comedy movies than I've watched his serious ones, but he's just such a wholesome person. When you watch Good Will Hunting, invite me. We'll watch it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we were. I saw some BTS from the first Jumanji,
Oh yeah.
and it was like he's just always that fun person, even when he messes up a line or something, and he just can't control himself.
I
He's
think you
always
said this
just
at the start,
fun.
Ollie, but he steals the movie every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Didn't they say that he ad-libbed so much on Aladdin that they could have made like an R-rated cut because he like ad-libbed for every different like rating, and so there's such different tones. Imagine Aladdin, but it's R-rated.
I'd love to see that version.
Everything's the same except when Robin Williams shows up, he's just swearing.
Yeah, and you gotta amp up the Wilbur Godfrey as well. Oh,
There's also
that's his name, right?
a famous clip of him and Elmo, of like doing some Sesame Street stuff with a stick, but some of the comments that he makes is like very. They had to cut it out.
Non-PG,
Very
yeah.
not Sesame Street worthy.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Sam. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
We haven't had
One
that yet. We should have
Yeah.
had that before now.
For sure. One last thing. When he won the Oscar for Good Will Hunting, he was so genuine. He was like moved to tears. but then he got on stage and he couldn't help but just be so funny. So it was just that speech is amazing, just to show like who he was as a person.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah.
Side note, but I've been I've been unconsciously like playing with like the microphone cord and like been panicking like, oh no, is this gonna mess up the audio? Then I turn to my right and you're doing it as well.
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
I'm just fidgeting with it because I've got like Mary Fowler with gloves.
Sam, what have you been watching recently?
Okay, so I can't comment on all of it yet because some of it may come up later, but I will comment on some of the live action stuff I've watched the last couple of weeks. First one I want to talk about, and I have to search up the name. It's either, I think it's called The Ides of March, and I talked to...
The Ides of March, yes.
Yeah. And I talked to Jake about this the other day.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
It is a fictional American politics movie starring Ryan Gosling and George Clooney, and it's just really, really fascinating watching the descent of these two characters into like the terrible people they become. And the whole cast does a really good job. Have you two watched it?
No,
No,
I've never heard
I've
of it
got
till now. The only
Not much to say about
knowledge I had of the Ides of March in my head was Julius Caesar, the actual real life event.
Okay. Jake, do you have anything to pat into there?
No, not really.
Okay. Then I'll talk about two others. First, I'm going to talk about, well, I don't have to talk about it, but I will mention it. I did watch the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh dear.
And we don't have to delve into that, but that was something.
Just for reference, everyone, we're filming this on the 9th of November. We're recording on the 9th of November, so it's only come out like a week ago or something.
Yeah, roughly.
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay.
What I'm
Bit of-
hearing is
bit
you
of fun.
adored it, Sam.
Everyone I know and has spoken to gave it 5 stars. Just absolutely.
Really?
That's not true.
I will not give a numbered rating on here because I may get chased by the loyal fans, but just know it's
Yeah, to you loyal Five Nights at Freddy's fans listening,
If
don't you dare come for
If
Sam.
you listen to our last episode, Jake gave us some very spicy opinions about it.
Oh,
Oh.
Sam,
I
I've
saw
already
someone,
decided,
one of
no,
my
you'll be on the
friends,
run with me.
one of my friends said they would rather study than watch that movie.
damn.
So I think that tells you a bit
That's
about
great
it.
stuff.
Jake, what have you been watching recently?
So watching a few things. Last night I watched an Errol Morris documentary. It's about John le Carré, who was a spy turned novelist, who wrote like Tinker Tailor, Soldier Spy, and a bunch of spy novels that got adapted into, books and films and stuff. Basically, Errol Morris is a really iconic documentary director. He's done like The Thin Blue Line and all this stuff that I haven't seen yet, but this was like a good entryway. It was really interesting. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, cool.
I also watched Down by Law, this Jim Jarmusch film starring Tom Waits and some other people. Shout out Oliver Williams. He was on the show early and he shouted out Jarmusch. So I checked out some of his work, and yeah, the film was amazing. It's very much like, hangout vibe, like kind of like not really a driving plot, even though there is. It's more about seeing these characters interact. Amazing black and white cinematography, amazing performances, amazing music. And then I rewatched the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Raimi movie. This trilogy is something I rewatch every year.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to watch 2 and 3 soon.
Mm.
The first one is so good. The second one's even better, though. But, like, this one is so iconic with Green Goblin as this amazing, amazing villain. Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man to me. I just love that movie so much.
Fair enough. I will say that Ollie has been talking a lot about black and white cinematography. And I think
Ollie Williams.
Ollie Williams, I would say. Not Ollie
Yeah.
Not me,
Ritchie.
not
Ollie
me.
hates it.
No, I don't. I just haven't talked about it.
So that would be a cool medium that I'd like to explore. Definitely.
I'd love to see that.
In the future. That'd be awesome.
I-
Ollie, what have you been watching? See,
Over the weekend,
did
I
Quantumania.
watched. I'll get to that. Over the weekend, I watched Ocean's 11, not for the first time,
Yes.
but rewatched it for the first time in a while, and it was fresh in my mind. And it's such a good movie.
It's amazing.
It's the blueprint, haha, for heist movies, and just the way they present it, as if like everything's already been planned out, which it has. Everything has been planned out, but they make it seem like things are going wrong when actually it's all according to plan. And I think that's my favorite thing in a heist movie, where
For sure.
like the conflict is manufactured, where the people pulling off the heist are actually so many steps ahead that they've planned out purposeful mistakes to like take attention away from themselves. Like they rob the bank right at the end. They rob the vault in the casino, not the bank, and they do that while on the phone to the owner of the casino, and they make it seem like it's happening right now, but actually it happened like an hour ago. It's so good. I love
So good.
that sort of
Are you gonna watch
misdirection.
12?
Probably not.
12 is so much better in my opinion. Too.
Really?
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
I've
well, maybe
seen
not better, but I like it a lot more.
I've seen all of them
Oh, really?
in the past,
Yeah.
but I remember nothing about 12 and 13.
Wow.
12 is just a lot of fun.
13's
11's like the one, but like
probably my favorite, I'll say.
Wow.
13 has Al Pacino, so I definitely remember it for that.
Yeah, I will watch
Yeah.
them then.
Sweet.
I've also that's sort of the only movie I've watched that isn't. I watched all of the Marvel stuff I hadn't seen, the MCU stuff I hadn't
Oh,
seen,
dear.
because the Loki season 2 finale comes out this Friday, and I wanted to get caught up because I didn't want to get spoiled on that, because
But
apparently it's
the
meant
finale.
to be major. Yeah, 6 episodes. There's only 6
didn't know
episodes.
that.
It's the finale.
I've been keeping up with it. I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I watched the last few episodes of Secret Invasion, which I hadn't seen. And then I finally watched Ant-Man 3.
Boo.
I don't want to talk about it because you guys are going to fight.
Well, I want to talk about it. I did
Can we
not
please talk
enjoy it.
about
Okay, well,
Truthfully,
fine. We'll talk about it.
I didn't enjoy it. It was dumb. It was very, like, from the first Ant-Man, it's such a jarring change.
I thought it felt exactly the same as the other 2 Ant-Man movies. It's
Really?
it's just in a different setting. I found it fun. I don't think there were that many story holes. There were things I have nitpicks against, but I found it fun. It was a straightforward story that made enough sense, and it still fit the Ant-Man vibe to me. I mean, it was the same writer. I can't imagine he would try and do something so majorly different.
Was it not a new writer?
Oh, sorry, same director, Peyton Reed.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think it's the best MCU movie or a perfect movie or anything. I had fun with it, and I don't think it's as awful as everyone says it is. It's just it's there. It exists. It doesn't do anything negative for the overall story that they're telling. It's there.
And not because
Ollie,
you were laughing
so
at it.
while I agree with you, it is fun, but you can't be fun and then also try and introduce this villain that's the Kang Dynasty. I mean, the film would be fine if it standing on its own, but
I
film
think
is
they did a
introducing
good
Kang.
job at showing that he's terrifying, but still beatable, because all he has is technology, right? He has this super powerful technology from the future, and he has knowledge of things that are going to happen, right?
Right.
Because he's already done it. Except this Kang didn't have that like precognition. He was just there. So he had this powerful technology, and what? They had the entire army of this whole realm on Ant-Man's side. That's enough to beat one guy. So I think it made sense. I think I agree. It's sort of like in Thor: Love and Thunder. What we saw of Gore was really good, but there should have been more. In this, what we saw of Kang, it's like it made sense for the movie, and also the end credit scene showed that I don't think that Kang is meant to be the Kang of the Kang dynasty. It's just showing a Kang the same way Loki has been showing variations of. Anyway, this isn't a Marvel podcast, so
We could
I
go
then
Hang on. One more thing about Ant-Man Quantumania. I feel like it's dealing with an Avengers level threat, but with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I
I don't
totally
know,
agree.
It feels
I
like
totally agree.
he's so far out of his league, but he somehow beats him.
but that's what we see at the end, right?
You made a
He
good
gets
point, Ollie.
completely smashed. Like
Yeah.
Kang is destroying Ant-Man. There's no doubt that Ant-Man alone, or just even Ant-Man, Wasp, and Cassie, who's in the comics, she's Stature, but they don't say that in the thing. Ant-Man, Wasp, and Stature, those three alone could not beat Kang. Like, there's no doubt about that, even from this movie. It's just that they managed to have the resources of the ants, which they actually foreshadowed from the start. I don't think that was a like out of nowhere stupid plot detail because it was from the start. And then the revolution, which they also had going from the start, they had like this whole army. And so in this movie, it made sense. And while, yes, it sort of diminishes him as this big bad, I think going from that into Loki, it shows actually that there's just these variants of him, and the idea of lots and lots and lots of Kangs is what's scary, because one of them was enough to completely destroy the Ant-Man squad. Imagine what this many could do to all the Avengers. That's my thinking about it.
You're making some good points.
As much as I don't want to, we're going to have a Marvel episode.
One day.
About this.
Yeah.
But then I watched Loki, which season 2 is really good.
It's good.
I like it.
I watched the first episode, and the thing that stood out most, apart from just the tonal shift from Ant-Man to Loki, was the music, the score.
So
like,
good.
In all of Loki, it's been really good, even in season 1.
Yeah.
But in episode 1 specifically of season 2, it was just phenomenal. The rest of it was really good, but that episode stood out. But apart from the music, the story, I think it's really good. I'm enjoying what they're doing. I think one thing that's been confusing to me is how it seems like the characters' reasons for doing things keep shifting around. Like,
Yes.
Loki wants to save
Sylvie.
No, so in the end of season 1, Loki didn't want to kill He Who Remains because he wanted to preserve the sacred timeline after listening to what He Who Remains said. He was going to kill him and like destroy the idea of a sacred timeline, but after hearing that He Who Remains created it to stop all the other Kangs, he was like, okay, we need to leave that. Then Sylvie does it anyway, and he's like, okay, well then we need to repair the loom in season 2 to make it happen. And then it seems like he goes back and forth between wanting sort of a sacred timeline or wanting to save the branches. Whereas Sylvie's like, I just want to live on my branch and not have to worry.
How many episodes have you watched?
All of them. All of the ones that are out.
Yeah.
It's like at the start, Sylvie's like, I just want to live on my branch. And then she's like, I want to stop these extended branches from dying. But that's what Loki's been trying to do the whole time. And they're fighting. And it seems like they've got the same motivation, but they just have different ways of going about it. But they don't realize. They think they have different motivations. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know,
I totally
I can
agree.
tell what they're trying to do. But that's only after having thought about it like quite a lot as it's played and going, wait a second, they're saying this, but what they actually mean is this. But I don't think they meant to mean different things to what they're saying. They just got confused.
Motivations are all over the place in this one, definitely.
Sylvie
still
especially so
compelling.
flip-floppy.
It's still compelling because if you ignore these like little weird motivations, like you can see what they mean. They're just saying it wrong, I think.
yeah.
And
Right.
overall, as a story, the whole season, it still makes sense.
I will say my favorite part of Loki season 2 is the visual style. It
I
is
agree.
so unlike any other Marvel movie, which is like clean, polished shots. This is like kind of dirty.
It's grainy. It's,
like it looks
it
like
looks
A lot
like
of
it's on an
zooms.
old TV. It's
Yeah,
zoomed
yeah.
in. A lot of it's handheld.
it's really
It's
good,
fun.
and I like it so much more
Yeah,
compared
it's
to
really
all of the other
impressive.
Marvel stuff that's
Pretty
been
much.
made.
But admittedly, like, Ant-Man 3 could not look like that and make sense. Like,
No.
Loki does that.
That's-
Ant-Man 3 couldn't. Even the Avengers, like Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the grittiest Marvel movie, it wouldn't
One of the
work
best
for
Marvel
that
movies.
No.
even, because it's such a it fits with the aesthetic of the show as well, and the technology they use and the TVA and just everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Oh,
Cam, what have you been watching?
I only watched one thing this week. I didn't have much time. I watched A Haunting in Venice, which I will say I've written a letterbox review about it. You can kind of look at that. I liked it. The horror elements were really cool. I'm really into like that, like the kind of, if you watched Sherlock and The Abominable Bride, like this is the BBC Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock. That was really, really cool, and I really like that. It's kind of like a mystery with little horror elements introduced and a couple of jump scares that actually made me jump, but it's not like a horror movie.
Okay.
The cinematography is jarring, incredibly jarring.
In a good way or bad way?
Some bits in a good way, some
Okay.
bits in a bad way, but I think overall it's very good.
Is it better than Murder on the Orient Express and Death in the Nile?
No, that's what I'm getting to. So I will say it's definitely better than Death on the Nile, but Murder on the Orient Express is still the best
So
one.
it's the second. It
Middle.
falls in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Death on the Nile, you could probably live without it, to be honest, if you were watching them.
Okay, well I'll go and watch it at some point then.
Definitely recommend it. It's on Disney Plus.
Can I
Sweet.
make one more watch this week?
Yeah, go for
sure.
it.
I just want to say a movie I think more people need to watch is the Tetris movie on Apple TV.
I really
Oh
wanted to
my
see
God.
that when it was coming out. Like, I saw the trailers and I was like, it looks really good. And then I never got to see it. And then everyone said it was really bad, and I was so sad.
Really?
Because
My-
it looks fun.
My subscription, my free subscription cancelled before I could watch
Oh,
it.
Devastating.
I'm so
But,
bummed.
like I
But
think
It's only $10 a month, which is actually not bad.
I think it's a very fun Cold War film with a lot of like it's a very interesting like Cold War politics, and it's got those gaming elements, which is fun as well. Go get your Apple TV free trial, watch it once, and then when the trial's near the end, watch it again.
Is it? I think depending on how you get it, if you buy a new Apple device, it could be up to 3 months. I think.
Yeah. I also watched the season 2 premiere of Invincible, because last week I
Me
said I had
too.
been rewatching Invincible season 1. Oh my god, so good.
Dude,
But I want to wait until the end of the show to
Yes.
talk about the whole thing, because it's going to be
Yes.
insane.
Okay.
Oh, we
So,
will. We
alright.
will.
Next
Let's
thing
move
we're
on.
jumping into.
Let's
yes.
move on.
Cam, do you want to introduce this?
Sure. This week, because Actor in Focus kind of went a bit haywire last week, 'cause we didn't really know much about Tilda Swinton, but we also did. We've decided to do Genre in Focus, and this week we'll be doing animation. So
Even though we know animation is not a genre, it is a medium.
Yes.
We thought it would be fun to just do an animation focus, particularly with Sam here, bit of a animation connoisseur.
As much as
So-
we talk about it and how much Ollie loves How to Train Your Dragon, which we will hear more about, I'm keen for it.
I'll be surprised if that one comes up.
Yeah, no, it's actually not in my top 5.
Interesting.
No, I'm kidding.
Snub from the top 5.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay.
I'm about to reach across the table.
Wake me up.
Smack
Someone's taking control of my body.
Yeah, let's start with Sam. Do you want to give us your top 5 favorite animated movies?
Actually, I was wondering if I could go last because
Sure.
All right. Jake, do you want to go first? Also, I will say, Jake did make a rule that we had to pick them from different studios. I'm going to break that rule
wow.
because
Okay, fair.
screw you, Jake. You're not here.
I'm not breaking the rule, but my top 5 would be vastly different.
Yeah,
if,
same.
If I didn't follow the rules.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'll go 5 through 1. My picks are going to be a little basic, but I feel like these movies are great for a reason, like well known for a reason. And I'm not like super big on animation. I love animation. I love what it can do, but it's not my, favorite thing. More
It is
like
mine.
you guys, you are like much more into it than me. But and there's going to be tons of honorable mentions, which I'm sure we might mention later. But
Absolutely.
five is Shrek 2 from
Mm-hmm.
DreamWorks. I love Shrek franchise so much. This one's definitely the best in my opinion, even though the first is really iconic. Just a really fun movie, just a really nostalgic movie for me. 4 is Fantastic Mr. Fox. He who should not be named is someone I won't bring up, but I can bring up his movie that is animated.
Good, because
Sam, that
we
might be
don't want you to
confusing
just sit on
if
the
we
phone
bring up,
saying nothing
know-
for 10 minutes.
An amazing. We've talked about it, but it's an amazingly detailed and amazing creative adaptation of a really iconic book. 3 is Spirited Away, Studio Ghibli. I was lucky to see this film in the theaters for my first time watching it.
I
And-
would have been very surprised if no Ghibli films showed up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? It's an amazingly have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Yes, I have, and it is
Okay.
in my top
It's
6.
an amazingly creative and detailed film. Miyazaki's masterwork. I can't wait for The Boy and the Heron.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see that in cinemas as
I know.
Miyazaki's last, well, potentially
said
last.
it-
He said that like 8 times,
He
but
keeps coming back,
his last
you know.
film coming out in theaters as a Ghibli fan. It's the first. It'll be the first
Yes.
Ghibli movie I'll see in theaters as a Ghibli fan. I've seen other Ghibli movies in theaters though.
I'm sure we'll do a big episode on that one. 2 is these movies were bound to come up. Sam said to veto them. I say no. Into the Spider-Verse is my number 2. I love Across the Spider-Verse, but this one is so much better in my opinion, and it's kind of clear, honestly. Like, Across is animated marvelously. It's got a great story, but it's half a story. It is. Into the Spider-Verse is a complete great origin story about doing so many different things, amazingly detailed, such amazing writing. Like, the animation is so breathtaking, but like can't be understated how fresh and just amazingly creative this writing is in terms of being funny, in terms of being emotional. The leap of faith scene is just one of the greatest scenes ever. And number 1 is, this is really a nostalgic pick, and it's hard to pick a Pixar because there's so many I grew up with, but it's The Incredibles. As a superhero fan and as just like, a fan of like those types of stories growing up, I love this. It's basically the best Fantastic Four movie ever.
That's
like,
really funny. I think I have heard that somewhere before.
you probably have. It's
But
like a popular phrase.
I haven't really thought about it until you said it just then, and that is hilarious.
Is that one of your?
Growing up,
Is that in your review on Letterboxd? The best
no, it actually
Fantastic
isn't.
Four movie.
No, it actually isn't. I'm sure I'm taking that from somewhere. Growing up, I just like wanted to be Dash so badly because like, who didn't? And yeah, I just love it so much. It's hard to leave out so many there.
I wanna
but
be Edna.
That's my list.
That'd be sick.
And
Did you say you wanted to be Flash? Don't you mean Dash?
Dash? I
Dash.
said Dash.
Flash is the other one.
Okay.
Come on.
You better have said Dash.
I said Dash.
I heard Flash.
Check
but
the
that's
tape.
okay.
Rewind 15 seconds. Let us
Check the
know what
tapes.
he says, and then put it in the Discord.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go next, but I do just want to mention.
I don't want to go next though.
Well, that's too bad. I said it first.
Paper, scissors, rock.
No, I said it first. I do just want to mention there is no Pixar or Disney on my list at all.
Ridiculous.
I can respect it.
Ridiculous.
Okay, Cam, let's go.
I cannot. Let's say I'm gonna go with a couple honorable mentions first. So, I know, it's
I didn't get
this
to
is
do that.
really hard.
didn't
though.
think of
it's
it.
it's really hard to pick a top 5 favorite animated movies because of this is what I've grown up with. I've seen so many that I love and really resonate with. They're just amazing. So a couple honorable mentions. Into the Spider-Verse. I love it. I need to watch Across the Spider-Verse again so I can give it a proper rating, so it's fresh in my memory. Coco, visually absolutely stunning. I know Sam doesn't want me to talk about Disney, but I'm going to keep talking about
No,
Disney Pixar. Anyway,
Sam's vetoed for himself.
No.
We can
he
do whatever
vetoed
we
for
want.
These
himself.
are self vetoes. You guys are allowed to talk about Disney and DreamWorks. I encourage it. I want to talk to it through you guys, but I want have a different list.
Okay. Yeah, Coco, visually stunning. I love it. Amazing, heartwarming story, all about family. So saddening every time, but so happy.
Possibly one of the best Pixar movies.
Possibly.
Haven't seen it.
Yes. Yeah, bro.
You haven't seen it, Jake?
Jake, that is your homework for next week. You better
Unbelievable.
say you've watched it.
My
Seriously?
God.
That is your
Homework.
most heinous
Yeah.
film crime.
I don't have Pixar.
I don't think it is.
5 minutes.
Mm.
No.
Yeah, I don't have Pixar on my list, but Coco is the Pixar movie.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I think just from like my recent memory, now this is my top 5. I've made these are like it's mostly what I've watched recently, but also movies that have still stuck with me that I've been able to rewatch them again and never felt like I was not getting something new from it. So, number 5, Ice Age.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
Blue Sky.
amazing stuff.
Ice Age is just it's Blue Sky isn't. I don't think it really exists anymore.
Not really.
It's Disney now owns it, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much a Disney. It's a Disney studio. Like Blue Sky as the name, I think, doesn't really exist anymore.
yeah.
But yeah, Ice Age was created like under Blue Sky, not connected to Disney, and then when they went down, Disney snatched it up.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. What can I say? It's just awesome. It
is awesome.
One of the movies I watched
I
the
agree.
most as a kid.
It is one of the movies.
It's very funny. It's just a lot of fun. Sequels are okay. I think the second one. Is that the second one or the third one?
The third one is the,
The third
dinosaur
one. Third one, dinosaur one. That's definitely up there in my
It's
favorites.
so fun.
It,
Buck
it's
Wild.
just fun. Buck Wild,
Yeah.
voiced by the New Zealander that I keep forgetting the name of, who's in like everything, and I love him. Ollie's about to find it.
It's Simon Pegg is Buck.
What?
Actually,
I think that
Am
sounds.
I being
that-
dumb? Hang on.
sounds
Am I,
right to
Wait,
me.
whoa. Am I?
Wait. That's in the new one. But I'm pretty
Oh.
sure.
Hang on.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Buck Simon? No.
Yeah.
What? Maybe I am insane.
His
Okay.
world's being crushed.
I thought it was the other guy.
What other guy?
The
The one who does the crab in Moana? Jermaine Clement?
No. Where is he? He's a Reese Darby.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely not
it's
Reese Darby.
It's not. Never mind. I'm all turned around. That's okay. Yeah, fun movie. Number 4 is Toy Story 4. Not
yeah.
for the story, but just for this is like the best looking animated movie ever.
The realism
Yeah,
is
it-
insane.
It is
It looks
so
unreal.
realistic, and the amount of
In that
storytelling
style.
in that style
Mm.
specifically, yeah.
Mm.
In the amount of technical work that's gone into it and the visual storytelling is insane. You can tell I keep saying insane. The use of different types of lenses, even in an animated film, to emphasize the perspective of different characters is such a good storytelling mechanic, and I really like it. The first scene always stands out to me though, with just when RC's stuck in the gutter, how realistic the rain looks, and then how sad that scene is because Bo is leaving, and it
Right.
all comes to a full circle at the end.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think you
neither.
need to watch it again because
Maybe. Might need to do a
I'm
Toy
gonna
Story marathon.
maybe.
Is it your favorite Toy Story film?
Yes, I will say.
Interesting.
Not for the story, but just
Right,
because
I
it's
understand.
it's just I don't know. They all feel the same kind of in. I think 3 is my favorite for the story.
Mine's 2.
Mine's 2 as well.
I've always thought 2 was funnier and more unique, because I thought Toy Story 1 is like the classic guy comes in and steals
Yeah,
like
steals
your
your-
spot.
yeah.
It's like they're not friends until
No.
the very end, which like that's such a satisfying arc. But Toy Story 2, they're already friends.
Yeah.
And
It's more unique.
you get the different conflict of Woody realizing who he is in his own like spot in the world.
Heart.
Well, yeah, in his own heart, in air quotes.
Stitched heart.
And
I'm with
it
you.
also has some of the best sequences. Like the cleaning of Woody,
Unreal
amazing.
scene.
And then
Unreal scene.
in the airport, in the bag corridors, awesome.
just
So
insane.
yeah,
when
it's-
they're crossing with the traffic cones.
yes,
Yeah, that's just comedic genius.
yeah. Like
It's
I think
awesome.
that's why it's my favorite.
I will say
I
I'm on board with you on the Toy Story 3 though being the best. I'll join you on that hill.
That's
I just
best for story.
Two
I just hate
versus three.
Lotso.
Best for story.
I hate Lotso.
I need to. Yeah,
But that's the idea.
That's the idea, and it's
He's a
good.
great villain.
What is this one? Number 3. This is a really hard pick out of my top 3. How to Train Your Dragon. We've already raved about how good this is.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much more I can say from what we've already said.
Fair
It's
enough.
just an amazing movie. So fun to see this relationship between a kid and his dragon,
His pet and friend
pet
and
and friend and
companion.
companion and everything, and how these relationships change, and the story of acceptance. It's amazing. Coupled with the score from John Powell.
I think it's one of the best
Chef kiss.
human non-human relationships ever friendships depicted on screen ever.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just
No doubt about it.
even I think what makes it so special is how you feel like Toothless and all the dragon characters are other human characters in the way like they are all intelligent creatures, and the way they connect to the humans is very personable, but the way the relationship between them then makes you look at the relationship between Hiccup and Stoic and Hiccup and Astrid and just all the human characters in such a different way. And then also Gobber, just full stop.
Gobber,
the
so
best.
funny.
I was so scared he would die in the third movie,
Oh.
The second
but he didn't. So
is very
Hell yeah.
sad though.
second, I have not watched it
Every
for a
time,
while
tearjerker.
because I always cry, and I know that if I watch it again, now it's gonna be very bad.
No.
But yeah,
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. This movie made me want a pet dragon. It still makes me want to have
Yeah,
a
who
pet
doesn't?
dragon. Like
it also I know people say this about Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. It makes me want to fly.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want
Oh, for
to.
sure.
My dad had his pilot's license when he was younger. I never got to fly with him because it was years ago. But it really makes me want to like be a pilot and just be able to fly and get that feeling of elation. They just nail that feeling of being in the air, feeling free, and then also of falling, of just all of those aspects to do with flying, which is like you can't imagine
the only
unless
time
you've
I've
done
like
it in some way.
felt that is like when I have a dream about falling.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I like that feeling of like everything, your stomach going up into your throat and all that, and just falling.
That's why we like roller coasters and skydiving. I need to go skydiving.
I hate the idea.
Okay, if we get 10,000 listeners, Cam, Jake, and I will go skydiving
to one episode.
to one episode.
10,000 listeners for
Oh my god. What
and
are
will
we
you
gonna talk
record
about
the
while we do
episode
it?
while skydiving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mythbusters proved that we can't,
Yeah.
but we'll have to do it before.
Tragedy.
We'll
We have
do
to
it
deep
before
dive a
and after.
movie in that.
And
in
we'll
that
do
vein
a
while doing-
movie that's about skydiving. We'll do scenes from movies. So the test drive sequence from How to Train Your Dragon, this base jump from the Halo jump from Mission Impossible,
yeah.
Fallout. Yeah,
And
we'll
I'll
do
be
a
like
bunch of
Henry Cavill and
scenes
I'll
like
stop
that.
breathing, and you guys got to catch me. It'll
Yeah.
be sick.
All right, we'll keep
Your
moving
second,
on.
yeah.
Be quick. The second is Wally.
Oh yeah. Good.
Great.
Cute story.
Good
I love
choice.
Wally.
Such a good movie.
choice.
So cute, so heartwarming.
It's so sick.
Dancing
it's like
scene.
a silent film, man.
So that's your second Pixar. So that's where you've
I know.
broken the rules. Okay, just wanted to double check.
Honestly, fair. For those two, fair.
Just you wait.
You've got
I've got
three
three
Pixar
Pixar.
movies.
I've watched so much Pixar that it's Pixar that tells these amazing stories.
Oh,
and
yes,
Disney that kind
absolutely.
of
Yeah.
capitalizes on it.
Mm.
Number one's Monsters University.
Hell no.
I unironically love that movie, but it's
I
not
love
the,
it.
it's
I
not
don't
the
know.
best
It's fun.
Pixar movie.
It's being in university now and watching that back. It's like,
so American.
It's the same thing.
yeah.
I think the moral.
What do you mean it's the same? It's very American.
I think the moral direction under the story and like the character direction works well, but the overtone and the university stuff does not.
It's so compelling for Mike and Sully's story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But everything else going on is just sort of random background stuff that's fun.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And there's not really many stakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And number one, my all-time favorite animated movie. This changes every week on and week off when I watch an animated movie. It's Ratatouille.
Oh yeah.
Great call. Ratatouille is a masterpiece.
Again, it's about a relationship between, like, an amazingly formed relationship between
This one's better than How to Train Your Dragon.
a rat and his chef, which is. Ollie's giving me a look. He's disappointed.
I heard what Jake said. I'm tempted to
I have
hang
to get a
up.
reaction.
Hang off on. Oh.
I'm gonna hang up on you, Jake.
I'll take a photo of his face
see
for
you
you.
guys.
I'm gonna have to hear what he said in the recording, or maybe I won't.
I'll send you a photo of what Ollie's looking at me like right now.
Jake, this is your last episode.
Yeah, thanks for coming,
Truly.
Jake.
I'm off the bot forever. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Forget 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, what else can we say that I haven't already said that applies to this movie?
The score.
The score. It is in my list of favorite movie scores. The Wall Rat, like instrumental, not a song or anything, but Wall Rat, just the emotional roller coaster that it goes on to. Like every time I listen to it, even if it's not through the movie, I listen to it, I can see that scene of Remy running through Paris, through the buildings, up the side of these condos. Yeah. Awesome.
Brad Bird, man, also did The Iron Giant, which is another one I want to shout out. That film is amazing.
Yeah, Brad Bird is a. I when I was looking at my letterbox to pick a movie, like to pick my top 5, I saw Iron Giant and I was like, well, that could go on. It's very good.
It was so hard to leave it out. I
Yeah,
love
Brad
that movie.
Bird is a great director. Okay, I'm gonna do my top 5. I'm gonna go from 1 to 5 because it's a bit more obvious what
Okay.
my top ones are than what my
that's
bottom
good.
ones are. But first, I want to do some honorable mentions. How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Across the Spider-Verse. They would be in there if I wasn't doing just one studio, like one movie per studio. Those two would definitely be in my top 5. And then Ponyo. Actually, my
Wow.
most nostalgic Ghibli movie. I don't think it's the best Ghibli movie, so it's not in my top 5, but it's my most nostalgic. So I just wanted to mention it. I absolutely love that movie. And we'll come back to this after. I want to talk about stop motion animation, like the Aardman movies and like the Lego movies, the Lego Batman movie, the Lego movie,
Batman's
those
amazing.
ones. But they're not in my top 5, so I just wanted to mention them, and maybe we'll discuss them a bit later. But my top 5 from number 1 is How to Train Your Dragon, as we know.
Wow.
My number 2 is Into the Spider-Verse. I
Yes.
think it's better than Across the Spider-Verse. I think they're
Yes,
both
I agree.
5-star, nearly perfect movies.
Yes.
But I think Into the Spider-Verse is the better of the two, and Across the Spider-Verse, like you say, Jake, you can watch it on its own, but it's setting up for the final movie in the trilogy.
There's 2 to be continued at the end. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Then Howl's Moving Castle.
yes.
That's my favorite
So
Ghibli
good.
movie. I think it's I've watched Spirited Away, but I don't think I connected with it as much as I have with Howl's Moving Castle. I still love Spirited Away, but this one is just the one I've connected with the most. Then my 4th movie is Your Name,
Oh, nice.
the anime movie. I think it came out in 2016, but I watched it on Netflix. I knew nothing about it. I just saw this. It has such Ghibli vibes, and the animation is stunning. It's actually insane. You would love it for the animation, Cam. But yeah, it's visually stunning. But then the story is so compelling. Even since then, I've only watched it the once, but it's just always been in my mind, the story, and just this. It's a romance, but it's just so well constructed, and it's very impressive and heart-wrenching. And then my final pick,
Top 5.
of my top
your
five.
fifth.
My fifth pick. I found this one quite difficult, not because I can't think of 5 good animated movies, but because there are too many good animated movies. And Jake, when you said Fantastic Mr. Fox, I was like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. But I actually did think of that. And I just forgot that I thought about it. But my number 5 is going to be The Sea Beast. And this I'm sort of cheating a little bit here because The Sea Beast is just How to Train Your Dragon. It's a How to Train Your Dragon clone. But when I watched it, when it came out on Netflix not too long ago, it made me cry, which the first How to Train Your Dragon has not made me cry. The second one has a lot every time I watch it. But The Sea Beast made me cry. It's very sad. It's again about destroying the establishment, but it's done in a different way. And instead of being one person like tames the creature, it's 2 people tame the creature. It's sort of like if you had Hiccup and Stoic's relationship happening on the back of Toothless instead of Hiccup and Toothless doing their thing and Hiccup and Stoic having their relationship separate to that. But the animation's really cool. It's very fun. It's very wholesome, and it made me cry. And I wanted to bring it up. It might switch out of my fifth. It might switch out of my 5th spot, but I did want to bring it up today. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Go on my watch list. All right. Sam, do you want to give us your top 5?
Yes. Okay.
Roll through it.
Okay, so for the record, I've self-vetoed Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks because I wanted to remove the easy options and also Spider-Verse. I still ended up with 11 studios in my personal selection I've got favorites from. I'll quickly go over the honorable mentions because we're allowed to do that apparently. As a child, I grew up on 2 movies, Finding Nemo and Treasure Planet. And just from the nostalgia for both of those movies, they're probably my favorite Disney and Pixar. For Aardman, as an honorable, I've got Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Very good movie.
Fantastic movie.
For Blue Sky Studios, as an honorable mention, I've got the Peanuts movie, which is
probably
that's a
good one.
Probably their best movie, I think. Full stop. Okay, so in the proper 5 list, I'm so glad you mentioned Howl's Moving Castle. I was going to pick it, but this one just edged it out a little bit more for me. And that's going to be Princess Mononoke.
I'm so glad we've now had 3 different Ghibli movies.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful movie, and I love that sort of fantasy aesthetic and also the like design. It's such a beautiful movie. Like the town looks great, the animals all look amazing. Like the ending with the giant beast. Oh my! It's such a fascinating movie, and this movie and Castle in the Sky, which I haven't seen, are like
it's great. Watch it.
They're the building blocks for like Zelda, specifically Breath of the Wild and stuff.
Oh, for sure, bro.
And it's so evident,
wow.
and Zelda's my favorite franchise, so which is why it's extra for me. Next up, I've got Paramount Studios, and it was a tough choice for this one. I was choosing between Rango and the movie I actually
love Rango.
So I chose, personally, The Adventures of Tintin.
I thought so hard about putting that on.
Spielberg.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Spielberg.
I love that movie so much. There were talks of doing a sequel. It's never actually gone into development.
Praying one day.
But I really, really hope they make more because I feel like they could make 100 of those movies, all standalone stories, and I would consume all of them immediately.
Tintin and Haddock, the actors, I think it's Andy Serkis on Haddock.
It is.
Andy Serkis is great. Phenomenal jobs. It is a little uncanny valley, but it still works really well.
I get that, but I don't think it takes anything away from the
Absolutely
movie.
not.
Like, I never looked at it as a kid and was like, this is creepily weird. I was just like, this is a cool animation because it looks kind of like humans, but you can tell it's animated.
Next up, my number 3, I've got for Sony Pictures, and because I vetoed Spider-Verse, I chose Mitchell's versus the Machines.
I also
Great
really
movie.
wanted to put
Amazing
that on,
movie.
but again, one per studio. Jake. That would probably be my 5th if I could have multiple per studio.
The humor is the best, full stop. And I was talking about Scott Pilgrim earlier. It's like some of the visuals very invoke that for me as
Oh,
well.
for sure.
It is a great
I
movie.
need to watch Scott Pilgrim again.
For my second, I've got Warner Bros. And this was between any of the Lego movies, but then I decided to settle on The Iron Giant, which you guys actually mentioned.
Yes.
Very nice.
Great movie. I actually watched it for the first time a couple of days ago. I was in tears at the end.
For the first time.
Well,
That's
probably
crazy.
not.
All right.
But like
First time in a while.
first time in like years and years and years to the point I've forgotten it.
Cam
Shake
just,
your head at
Cam
me.
just
I
very
haven't seen it
slyly,
before.
quietly said, "I haven't seen it." So
Oh,
Cam is
My
now the
God.
one getting kicked off.
I will say it's a little
I'll see you later.
it's a
Bye.
little uncanny to see like Disney-esque animation and then it's like Cold War era. It's
That
a,
film makes me so sad.
yeah. And for my number one, I wanted to do another stop motion studio. And I've chosen from Leica, Kubo and the Two Strings.
I still have yet to watch that.
Really?
But it
Haven't
is
seen it
on
yet.
my list. I really want to see it.
It is a phenomenal movie, and I like it for a lot of the same reasons I like Guillermo del Toro stuff. It's like this like beautiful like fantasy stuff, but with like a twin, like this like macabre and the twinge of sadness, and like it's got a really resolute ending that ties it all together. The Beetle is a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of good emotions there. I don't know what it's with Leica, but between this and Coraline, they seem to have this strange fascination with removing people's eyes and doing weird stuff to people's eyes. But
Terrifying.
I'm surprised no one mentioned Coraline.
Well, I wanted to bring it up when I said stop motion stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my if because this is not a Disney Pixar / Spider-Verse list. That's my top 5.
That's cool. Good that you wanted to bring up different stuff. Also, I'm surprised no one mentioned The Lion King, which is like obviously one of the most iconic animated films.
I haven't seen it for years, so
No, I haven't seen it in a
I
long
think
time.
it's got a great story, but as animation, it's just like it just happens to be animated. I mean,
Can I
I know
run
the
through it?
live action one is not as good, but like animation is just in this one instance the medium it's told in because it's a Disney movie. I think what's the most compelling about it is the story, and then it's like not hating on the animation. It's great animation, but I wouldn't say it's like the best animated movie. It might be like the best Disney movie for someone or something like that.
You realize?
Can I rapid fire a few?
Okay, yeah, we didn't give you an honorables mentions, but
Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, Animalisa, SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Simpsons movie, Cloudy with a Chance of
Ooh,
Meatballs,
yeah.
Rango,
yes.
and you said Rango, but yeah, there we go.
So yeah, that's our tier list for animated movies. I think, yes, again, it's a medium, not a genre, but they are some of the most widely watched movies. They are the most accessible to younger audiences, and I think they still stick with us today. Like some of the earlier Pixar movies are definitely there's bits for adults that keep you entertained.
It's
and
the
I love
best
that.
thing for getting people into movies because it
For
looks like cartoons and things like that. It's easy to see. Everything has to be deliberately put in there so you can show exactly what you want to show. And then the stories, you can go completely wild, like having a kid ride a dragon or things like that, having a lizard gunslinger. And so you can just tell fun stories for kids and have great morals, and then it can be something that resonates with adults like us.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, let's move into a game of quick pitch. In the theme of animation this week, we're going to keep going with that and have our theme or genre to be animation.
A story that can only be told in animation is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though animation is not a genre, we don't feel like we have to pick a genre. It's just going to be something that could only be told in animation.
Exactly. Sam, do you want to pick an actor for us?
Okay. Actor. Trying to think. What would be? I'm gonna pick. Let's do Liam Neeson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like
Animated Liam
That's great
Neeson.
stuff.
Wait, is he animated or is it his voice?
His voice.
his voice.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I animated Liam Neeson.
I'm trying
That'd be
to
cool, though.
think. Has he done an animation before?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
he's voiced Qui-Gon in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm sure he's done. He's voiced character in Ponyo
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
in the English dub.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, he's done voice acting in animation.
Awesome.
For a director, Ridley Scott.
What?
Okay.
Damn.
Oh my god, man.
This is gonna be a wild movie.
I'm just the original
expecting
Blade
that.
Runner,
But animated.
but
Dude, he would
animated.
never make an animated film. That is so
What if it's an animated movie based off a Ridley Scott story?
Okay, that's good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
he's directing it only in the sense that like it's his style of story,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
we are directing it, but he's the director.
This is kind of
Okay,
like
that makes more sense. Yeah.
animated Blade Runner is kind of just like Arcane minus the magic.
Dude, that film. would
I've
be
been
so
watching
sick.
Arcane heaps. I need to
Oh yeah.
stop, but it's so good. Okay, so Liam Neeson, animation, based off of a Ridley Scott movie.
Okay.
What are we thinking?
I'm thinking sort of neo noir, not totally Blade Runner, but like that world, kind of like more of a arcane, kind of like gritty, something like the
Absolutely.
cyberpunk,
Oh yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
something along
And-
those lines.
I think we could go down the Blade Runner route of having these like special people, but because it's animation, we want to have them like have some crazy aspect to them, as in like they can fly on their own, or they can do
Yeah.
magic, or well, we've got Arcane, they can do magic. So something like that, where like he's a cop, right? Like
I was gonna say that.
the
yeah.
thing that's
Liam
special,
Neeson
the
is a
thing
cop.
that's special about the characters in Blade Runner is they're just like future cop.
Yeah.
So we want to do something like that, like how the Jedi are special, or how things like that.
He has a separate organ that lets him talk to plants, but there's no plants in this world because it's dystopian.
Oh god.
Is this just like
doesn't know
Wall-E,
this.
Ridley Scott Wall-E?
No, that'd be cool. I mean, it doesn't make sense, and there's like, well, you could wrap the story around it. So if it's a world without plants and they have oxygen generators, and Liam Neeson comes in contact with some seeds that he finds in a mission when he goes out to the Badlands. Or
So
something.
yeah, he doesn't know he can talk to plants
He
because
doesn't
they
know
don't
he can talk to
exist,
plants,
and then
yeah.
he finds some.
Oh,
So
it's literally just poison ivy.
so Wally, but with gunfire.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
everyone's like,
No,
Essentially.
it's blaster fire.
Blaster
because,
fire.
it's
Ah.
actually a blaster because it's
Look-
sci-fi,
well, I'm more saying because it's for kids.
Oh yeah, but that's true.
not a firearm.
Well.
No.
Hmm.
Maybe they're all magically.
Doesn't have to be
gifted.
for kids.
Well, true, it doesn't. But
Arcane is definitely not for kids.
do we want to make it for kids, or do we just want to make it accessible for anyone?
Ridley Scott story probably wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
this is not accessible for
kids.
kids.
Well,
We
it would
could
be
probably
it'd
make
be
it
M. We
into
can
a
make it
kid's story.
M because that's what Gladiator
Okay, that's
is.
cool.
Mm,
That's
okay.
cool. Yeah,
This is M.
something that, a little bit in between.
So we're allowed how many F words? I think it's like 2.
I don't know.
One probably, one or two.
I think one's for PG.
Is
I don't know. I
is M
forget.
like PG-13?
We don't have that in this
Okay.
country, Jake.
Hear me out. These like, what if like these oxygen generator things or what they have around? What if like all the? I was gonna say.
No ideas dumb here. We have no idea
Okay,
what
I
we're
was gonna.
talking about.
Okay, follow me through, but then I'm gonna say the dumb comparison.
Okay.
Okay, so like they have like a something on their back or something like a large tube or something. They connect themselves to these stations and they pay a fee, and then they get all the oxygen they
So
need
they're
for.
literally cars.
I was gonna
They
say
fill up with gas every couple of days.
or something, and it was like, oh no, I've just made the Lorax.
Oh, it is the Lorax.
No, but that's just a feature of sci-fi or dystopia, and I like it, especially because you could say that it's like stealing their identities as it does it, and so he's trying to bring back. He's starting a revolution by bringing back plants, and so it's like this asinine concept that starts this brutal revolution,
Yeah.
and it's animated.
This
In
is
this-
definitely MA.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
like
feeling it more and more.
This feels like more of a TV show.
Yeah, I could see it as a TV show.
Okay. No, it has to be a movie.
It's-
It's like what's the Will Smith and the Orcs?
And the orcs.
Yeah, he does where he's like a cop in a fantasy world.
Brightburn?
Bright.
No, it's
Oh.
not
Bright.
Bright.
Yeah, Bright.
I think we need to.
I thought you were talking about I Am Legend, and then I was like,
No.
no, not that.
No.
I think we need to fill in some other players into the cast beyond our guy, unless his battle is just against society.
Oh no, there's definitely
Society.
he's definitely got a bit of a crew that he
Oh yeah, like a
gains throughout with other celebrity voice actors, but we only need to know about Liam Neeson for now.
There could be like, I don't know, like a junkyard person or something.
You've got he's a high class cop whose friends are pond scum like sanitation workers or
What if
mechanics or something.
Okay.
Yeah. What if the story actually starts after he's found the plants?
Okay.
But we don't know this yet. He's been cultivating this secret garden so that he can actually, like, when the revolution gets into full swing, he can be handing out plants so that he's not like abolishing oxygen tanks and then they just can't breathe. Like, they need to be able to immediately switch over to the natural form of oxygen. So we start a bit later. Cam's
Sorry,
just brought
I
up
just
a
pulled up
picture.
a photo of Isabel Madrigal from
Encanto, who can just
Good
grow
movie.
plants with
she
magic.
controls flowers.
But yeah, like he's already plotting the revolution. He just needs to bring people on board.
Yeah.
But we find out throughout about this ability that he has and about how he discovered it.
And there's like Freudian slips when he's at work or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like it.
Here's something I want to know. Do we want to like humanize the nature in any way, or like make it feel like this?
Yeah, his
Broad,
lover is
ambivalent
this
It's like a Venus flytrap or something.
anthropomorphic.
Maybe he's a psychopath and he brings home all the criminals he catches and feeds them to this giant
Maybe.
Venus flytrap.
No, I
No,
think
that's messed up.
I think
That's too far.
the plants are just our way of showing it's like humanity thrives in nature.
And this is back to all of the animated Pixar movies
Yeah.
with relationships. Yeah.
It's truly Wall-E but Ridley Scott version.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
that's
like
cool.
it. I like it.
Good concept.
We need a title.
Yeah. Okay.
Cyberplant 2088.
Hear me out.
Original.
Original.
Planticity. It's like Plant City, but Planticity.
I like it.
I like it.
Planticity.
Ooh, that's good.
Planticity.
Simple, but good.
The Fallen. No, I don't know.
Planticity v Smog.
No.
That's the sequel, Ollie.
That's yeah.
V
Planticity.
global warming.
You can put whatever you want on the slogan on the poster.
Yeah, true.
Planticity.
This is
And then the
Planticity.
next one, Planticities.
Yes.
That was an alien joke for you guys who didn't get it. Cool. Well, that's our quick pitch. Let's move on for
I like that one
very
a lot.
quickly. Some Film Society stuff. So I think this will come out probably the week of, if not the week after, maybe. In case it's the week of.
This comes out after things are due, but before the screening.
Okay. So, on the 8th of December, we will be having the annual UC Film Festival, sponsored by the UC Film Society, Building 2, Level B, Room 9, in the massive lecture theatre. Come along. You can find tickets at UC Film Society on Instagram. We'll be giving away a bunch of tickets to other movies as well. There's a bunch of prizes. Definitely come along. I know the deadline's probably gone by now, but you can still come along. Please bring your friends and family. Tickets, you will have to book tickets. They are free. There will be popcorn and slushy machines as well. What else can I say?
We will be doing voting on the day. There'll
all of
be
the awards
anonymous
for the films
forms.
shown are voted on by you, by the public who view these films.
to choose what the best for each category
For
is,
each
like best
category.
cinematography, best first year film, best second year film, best writing, etc.
Yeah.
That's all to be decided by you, the audience. So the more people that come, the more of a varied response we get, and the better we can judge who should win each category.
Exactly. Yeah.
So come along.
Please come along. Tickets are
Absolutely.
are on our Facebook, on Instagram. There's a message on. There should be an announcement on the Discord.
And you can also just find them on the UCX website. If you go to the UC Film Society page, in our store, there are free tickets. So that's the long way to get there. But that's it for this episode of Off Camera. Thank you for joining us, Sam.
Oh, thank you for
Thank
having
you, Sam.
me.
Thanks for dialing in, Jake.
Of course.
Can be bothered
And
to be here.
that's all for this week. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.